Greetings guys and gals, this is Jaedong bringing you the best in esports. Today we have StarCraft Brood War, the Shinhan Winners League, Hwaseung versus Woongjin Stars. This is going to be Jaedong versus Pretty, aka Free. Set for Hwaseung surprisingly up 2-1 thanks to Lomo against Woongjin Stars. This is on Circuit Breaker. At the top left we have the brown Zerg, Jaedong, who's kind of been struggling a little bit lately, but a very, very good player, obviously top-ranked Zerg. As we know, at the top right we have Free, aka Pretty. I think that Free is way cooler than Pretty is of any accord. But he's going to be the protest player in teal at the top right, as I said before. This is Circuit Breaker, going to be a 4-player map, kind of more macro-oriented, but we can see pretty much everything in a PvZ ZVP matchup. Overlord Scout going to be going in the wrong direction. Some statistics for you guys at the bottom right. Going to take out my gum because I know how annoying it is to hear my gum in my mouth when I'm casting. Not very manner at all. But I'm expecting this to be a very good matchup. Free, pretty good, like 56% versus Zerg. But Jaedong obviously is Jaedong and has a very, very good in all matchups, but very, very good ZVP, as we can always see when he plays people like Stork or Cal, aka Godzilla, especially Bisu. And we do, looks like, see a 12 pool from Jaedong. Whoa, just kidding, no, it was like a 9... It looks like a 9 pool going down for Jaedong, actually. Not a 12 pool. The probe is going to scout this, and he's going to have to put down his forge in probably 1 or 2 gates before he does put down his nexus, depending on how many Zerglings we see come out of that hatchery. The probe needs to stay alive. Free needs to make sure that his probe does stay alive. Jaedong looks like he's trying to put down a hatch. His probe is being a little bit annoying and denying that for the time being, but the hatch does go down finally. Not too much delay in there, and not making 6 Zerglings immediately, only using 1 of those eggs, now 2 of those eggs, so he's definitely going to be able to put down the Nexus, as we just saw. And really, at this point in the game, he only needs to put down 1 cannon. He kind of would like to see what comes out of those eggs. I'm surprised that he's following this drone out there. Really, if he sees what is in those eggs, if it's not all Zerglings, then he's definitely going to be able to put down his gate first. He is following that drone, but I mean, I guess from Free's point of view, what he can do is just put down the gate anyways and say, you know what, those Zerglings, as they were not all at once, they're not going to all be at my base nearly as fast as they would have been, and I'm going to be able to put down the gate. Looks like we see the gate probes coming off the line to block this off, and Jaedong actually might be going for a little bit of a Zergling break. Pylon going down to deny that 3rd base. Here comes Jaedong, kind of dancing around, thinking if he wants to go in. He might wait for 6 Zerglings to try to go in. At this point in the game, I think that he's going to be able to run, by which he is. He's going to get Zerglings in the base, and that's what I say. I thought that Free should have built 2 cannons. Probably is going to get away with this. Only 1 Zergling gets in the base. That Zergling is going to be a little bit annoying, but not do nearly the amount of damage that he really wants. Free looks very, very confident, very, very calm. He's going to be able to defend this fairly well. He really could pull some probes off and defend, but at this level of play, he really doesn't need to. He's going to be able to micro against that Zergling very, very well. Gateway now has morphed in, and so we're probably going to see a Zealot and a Dragoon in the near future, and of course, like always, Corsairs as well. +1 upgrades for Corsairs are very, very viable. We don't even have a Cybernetics core yet, so that is going jumping the gun. And Jaedong opting to go for a misplaced hatchery rather than just kill off that pylon. He really wants to get that hatchery up, and so he's going to put that hatchery a little bit farther from the minerals, and that's pretty huge, actually. That's pretty big. Eventually he's going to put a hatchery right there, I believe. The first one is, there's going to be 2 hatcheries down there. The first one's going to be misplaced, the second one's going to be on center, I guess you could say, or in the right spot, which would be a lot easier. But this is going to affect the play a little bit, because if he tries to, I guess the Zerg, they don't really try to mine from their 3rd fairly early. It's just really the natural and the main for sometimes, so it's not going to really be that effective, but still, placing that hatchery is just kind of force him to do a few things. It's going to make him build another hatchery at that 3 o'clock instead of at his natural. So just really kind of forcing Jaedong to do a little bit of different stuff by putting down that pylon, and I think that that was a good play. We do see the Citadel, as we have been seeing so often, going for that Zealot +1, those speed lot push, which is pretty much Gosu. It's freaking amazing. I haven't casted a game where it hasn't won, where the protest player hasn't won. Surprisingly, I'm so surprised that it hasn't happened. But Zergs really don't have anything to combat this early Zealot push. We do have more gateways going down. He looks like he's not even opting, as of right now, to go for a Stargate. So he's not going to have any Corsairs in the area, which is really suspicious. He is putting down that hatchery at the right spot now. And now we have one Zergling getting in the base, going to be scouting some stuff. We still don't see Stargate, and that's really crucial because he's not going to be able to pick off Overlords. If he's not able to pick off Overlords with this attack, it's not going to be nearly as effective. Simply because he's not going to be able to pick off Overlords. The larva is going to be able to be spent on ground units. And I don't like this play. I think that the Corsairs are a very crucial part of this build. And looks like Free is just bypassing it altogether, just going for a big 4-gate push off of 2 bases. He did go for a Templar Archive, so might be trying to get Storm as well. We have Mutalisks already out for Jaedong. And I think that this time the Mutalisks are just out too soon. There's no cannons in the main. This is just going to be absolutely terrible. He has nothing to shoot up. Zealots don't shoot up. He has 1 Dragoon to shoot up, and that's it. In the main, this is absolutely terrible. He's going to have to transfer pretty much all of his probes to his natural base. And Free in a lot of trouble early on. That Stargate's going to finish, but he still has to get out a Corsair. It's not even close, just probes getting picked off. He's going to be able to pick off a ton of stuff at this point in the game, trying to throw down more cannons, being unsuccessful. One of the cannons might go down, trying to transfer probes back up to the main, but Free is just so much trouble, and opting not to go for that Stargate really cost him. He does have DTs in the mix, but I don't think these DTs are going to be that effective, especially because they are not accompanied by Corsairs. You really, for anything that has to do with DTs, you really need Corsairs. You see that the Overlord is at the front after seeing that Templar Archives, and this is just going to be absolutely so easy. So easy. It's just going to be ridiculously easy. And here come the Mutalisks yet again in the main, taking out both of the cannons, and I'm assuming that Free is going to have to GG anytime soon. This is the one time that this technique didn't work, and he didn't even do it right. He didn't even do the right technique. You need to get Corsairs. You need to get Corsairs, and he just doesn't understand, I guess. He's just trying to... I don't know why you would go for something like this in a Pro League game. I mean, obviously during practice you could pull off something like this, maybe. You know, try to pull off something like this. But not going for the Corsairs early, that is absolutely ridiculous. He has no mining in his main, and still a ton of Mutalisks in the area are going to be able to pick off pretty much anything that he wants besides the stuff that's really grouped up in the natural. And this is just absolutely terrible. Picking off the High Templar. Man, oh man, Free is in a ton of trouble. He needs these DTs to do something, but there's an Overlord in the area with 2 Sunkens. He knows that he's not going to be able to win. He knows that he's lost against the best Zerg player in the world. Nothing to be ashamed about, but he had the build in his favor. He has the build, which I think favors Protoss players. The Zealots really are... Well, this push is just an amazing timing push. I don't think it's necessarily overpowered, but it's just such a good timing push. Those probes not even mining at the natural. He had the build, and he just messed up. He just didn't execute the way he wanted to. He's going for something weird, going for something different. Wanted to get the High Templar in the mix so he could get faster Archons, maybe some Storm in there as well. But it just didn't work for him. It just absolutely did not work for him. Hydra's then now out for Jaedong. He's going to have Lurkers pretty soon. Might even go for a big Hydra break, as there are only 3 cannons in the base and pretty much no units. He's got no mining, so really he could go for nearly anything he wanted. He even could go for Zerglings, which would quite possibly work. Archon getting some shots off on those Mutalisks, kind of bad for Jaedong, but still he's just so far ahead, harassing this main yet again, just doing so much damage. And honestly, if Jaedong used his amazing micro, split those Mutalisks, they could definitely pick off that Archon. In my opinion, the splash damage would not be nearly as effective. Jaedong now almost at 4 bases, and it's really just a matter of free GGing, just like last game I casted. It's just they're just staying in it because they want to win. They want to win it for their team. Everyone is so team-oriented. We see a Dark Archon over at anything, but this is just absolutely crazy. Picking off a cannon, picking off more probes. There's pretty much no probes mining anywhere. I don't know why he's not GGing, why he's still in the game. We do have Hydralisks and Zerglings out. Assuming that he might go for lurkers, he could, like I said before, go for a Hydra break or something of that nature, but honestly, this is just ridiculous. You just really want him to GG. Now he has some mining at his main. Really not going to save him, though. It's really not going to do anything too well for him. Might be able to pick off the High Templar. Does pick off one of the High Templars. That other High Templar barely there, and that Overlord, unfortunately, you know, when you do that muta stacking, you use an Overlord, you use a slow Overlord, and that Overlord finally getting over there and getting picked off. Lurkers morphing in at the natural for Jaedong. He's going to be able to move in here fairly easily. There's nothing there. There's like one High Templar, and one Storm is not going to be enough to kill off these Lurkers with the help of maybe possibly more Hydralisks and Zerglings, like Hatchery going down as well. He's just going crazy macro. Jaedong really wants to make sure he does not lose this game because he has not been playing at the top of his play lately. He's been playing well, but he's just got tired out because Hwaseung is absolutely terrible, and they just keep putting him in, Jaedong, because no one else can win. And ooh, Maelstrom going on those Mutalisks there, and this Archon is going to be able to pick all of them off. Very surprising play, Gosu play by Free. But I think it's a little bit too late, and I don't think he's going to be able to save himself from a loss here. Now that we have Lair Tech up, we have the Queen's Nest, obviously we have maybe triple Evo Chambers. I'm not sure if that third one was an Evo Chamber, but at least 2 Evo Chambers, so he's going to be able to get all the upgrades for ground that he wants. 1 Archon and 2 Zealots moving out. Don't know why they're doing that. I mean, what did you think, that Jaedong was just going to make those Mutalisks and not make anything else? I think that's a pretty idiotic idea to move out at this point in the game. He's kind of forced to, but like, look at that. It's not even close. Jaedong really hasn't been even macroing up a lot of units, and just those 3 Lurkers and those 2 Sunkens and those Overlords are going to definitely be able to deter any type of attack that Free wants to put on at this point in time. So, oh gosh, looks like he's going for a Greater Spire. So even wants to put the nail in the coffin and go for Guardians and attack from a range from those cannons, stay out of those cannons' range. Here comes Lurkers and Lings as well. Free is trying to secure his 3rd base, but you know, Jaedong sees this, and he's going to be able to take this entire thing out just with these Lurkers. There is no Observer, there's no Robotics as of yet. This base is going to have to be cancelled, unfortunately. And, oh, well, I guess Free is going to try to persist and not cancel this base. He is storming the Zerglings, trying to storm the Lurkers as well. All those Lurkers might die, which is so much damage going on from that, whoa, lag, uh-oh, that's not me, that's the video. Observatory going up for Free, finally, but able to keep his base, but that base is just so low. If Jaedong puts the forces in that he's doing right now, he's just going to be able to take it out super easily. I don't even know how much energy those Templars have. Unfortunately for Free, I don't think he has enough storms to deal with this. Putting a Lurker at the bottom of the ramp just for good measure. And Maelstrom again going on those lanes, going to be able to take it out with the storm. But this base, man, this base is about to go out. Hydralisk moving in as well. The base is already on fire. These Zealots are pretty much unguarded, and Jaedong is going to be able to attack this Nexus from afar, out of range of that cannon. Cannon a little bit misplaced on Jaedong's part. Good storm there on those Hydralisks and Lurkers, and I honestly don't know why Jaedong isn't moving in with more units, not macroing up, because he could really take the game really super easily at this point. We do have Guardians. Maybe he just wants to say, yeah, I use Guardians in this game, sweet. But it's been over for quite some time. Free just staying in because he wants to keep it for his team. There's the GG once he sees the Guardian. Pretty man, GG's. Jaedong winning. Not really surprising there. Free has been around for quite some time. Not nearly as long as Jaedong though. But Well, I mean, in terms of games that they've played. But at any rate, Jaedong doing very, very well, and hopefully we see more success from him in the future, because I think he deserves it. I think Hwaseung just really takes the life out of him, and I'm really hoping that he keeps on winning. Anyways, that's it from me, guys. If you like this cast, please subscribe, please give me a like, comment below, and I'm out of here. Lates.